All right, so I've started the process. It's going to be a big build. I expected it to be a big build. I'm only 15 pages in and I'm done for the night, but I'll show you what I've been able to put together so far. All right, here's what I've got so far. We've got this. There's the jaw bridge. As far as I can tell, that's what this is going to be. I see all the teeth and everything like that, so that's what I'm assuming is going on, as you can see right here. And then I made the ladder, the weapons rack, and a bunch of guys. And then I also had one already, which I just added, because I already had Lynn. That's the spare parts that so far came out of one set. And here's all the spare parts that are still in there from the bags that it told me to open. And then 7, 6, and 5 are the next bags that tells you to open. And that is a good thing, because the build simplifies itself in a way that does this set a lot of favors. So as you're building this set, the idea is that you open these boxes, okay? Box 1 contains about 9 or so bags, and you don't open them all, so I got myself a staging tray where I could put the bags that it tells me to open. The first thing it did was it said open bag 1 and 2 and these bags with the orange marks. So I did. Once you open those and you add them, then it starts telling you as you go, you build up a thing, and then once you've got it made, it'll say, okay, now open up bag 4 and 5. Now open up 6 and 7, and so on and so forth. And that means that these parts are separated in a way that you open it up, you add it to your staging tray, you pull out what you need, you build the parts as you go, and little by little, you make it. This is going to be a large project. It's going to be a huge project. There's no doubt in my mind as I go. And I've already seen a couple of cool parts that it had me take out of bags that I know I'm not going to use for a long time, like the computer screen. That's pretty cool, though, that it's there at all. And there's like these flags here that I know that we're not going to use for a minute. And the spacesuit is another one. But I've set to the side things that are like bigger. So these giant parts like this, I set them to the side, figuring they'll come up as they come up. They were in like one of the first bags to open. And I've already run into a little bit of a problem, which is making me kind of go back and look at things and hope that it doesn't make that big of a deal. And maybe you can see the difference here, but I, turns out, could not. You see that? That is a gray color and a green color. And if you don't know, I'm red-green deficient. So when you put that gray color next to that green color, I didn't realize until I was putting a gray and a green together, and I flipped it upside down, and I was about to add these little brown blocks to it, which to me look like a dark red color. And I start to put it on there, and then I start looking, and I go, these two pieces aren't the same. Is that right? And then I looked in the book and started going, oh, it's not right. These are both supposed to be this gray color. So I have to be very careful and double check every single step as I make it, or I'm going to end up with something wrong as I go along. But this is cool. The most difficult thing is making these little people. These little people are so much better than Lego people. They're like little bitty action figures. They are really cool. But the problem I found myself in almost immediately was that when I started making them, I found out very quickly that their legs were very hard to put on, to the point where they hurt my fingers. They like hurt my thumbs to do it. I was trying to push with everything I had, then I was trying to roll it. Then I found out I had to find a way to do it, so I actually held the thing up to my mouth for a while and breathed out like, and got as much heat as I possibly could, and then tried it again a couple times and got one, and then decided, I went into the bathroom, turned the water on as hot as it could possibly go, ran the legs under for a little while, and then popped them onto the ball joints because I had to loosen the legs. Like the plastic was too tough. And yeah, but that's how far I currently am. This is going to be a huge project. I'll do updates as I make this thing, and then I'll do a bigger YouTube video once I've made the entire thing, going over the castle and checking it out in its final product. So, yeah, building Grayskull. Day 1 down. Okay, so day 2 of working on Castle Grayskull. I finished an entire box. What do I mean by that? As we already mentioned, these boxes are broken down into segments, and then the directions allow us to be allowed to stage our pieces. So this is bag like 11 and 12 that's currently sitting in there right now. That has been very helpful because it makes this process, it's slow, but it makes this process very doable and very easy. Easy might be understating it. I know people that cannot do this. I really do. I can't tell you how many people I've worked with and how many friends I have that can't do Gunpla. The directions just seem foreign to them. They can't do it. And at the same time, I know people that Legos, they can look at it and they can make something themselves, but they can't look at the pieces and they kind of confuse themselves, and then they'll end up putting things on wrong, and then they have to backtrack and figure out what they messed up and fix it, and it's just a nightmare. And I've seen people have a lot of trouble with this kind of stuff. Me, I actually find this very easy. I find it slow, but very easy. And this is a big, big set. I just finished step 90 of building Castle Grayskull, and let's go over the parts of it that I have complete, because yesterday I talked about how I created the characters and I created the weapons rack and I created the beginning of the jaw bridge, and I also talked about how I did the ladder and whatnot. Well, today I started on the central tower, and it's pretty cool. So here it is. This is the central tower. Check this out. That's the door right there. And these are the big teeth, the crazy teeth here. These are really cool. And this is it. And it's not huge yet or anything like that, but it's being made. I really like this kind of stuff here. See how this is all discolored and everything because they have so many different colors? And the cobblestone that you make on this side is mirrored but different on the other side. Like the fact that it has that little window area right there, but also a lot of this stuff here is laid out differently so that it feels like cobblestone. It feels uneven, and I actually really appreciate that. I think it's really, really cool. The inside so far has this little area right here, and then it goes up, and I just did these two flags here. That's the last step. That's step 90 that we just finished, was putting in the two flags, and they are actually really cool. They're decently detailed and everything, and I really, truly like them. I just think they're really neat. Let's push that up a little more. This fits just exact. So if you don't, it's just exact, this little yellow bar here. This was done with absolute precision, and if you'd have forced it or whatever, you probably could have broke it. But this is cool. The next step that I'm going to be working on tomorrow is right here. It's step 90, and it's starting what's going to be the throne, and then I'm assuming the throne goes in here somewhere, and then somehow we'll create the mechanism that allows for, the trapdoor or whatever. So far, this is really cool. It is time consuming. This is day 2. I don't have a whole lot of time, to be fair. So don't assume that I'm sitting here like just working on this. I came home and I did a couple of things that I had to do. And then after that, I put about maybe 15, 20 minutes into this. And then I went downstairs and I watched a movie with my wife. And then I came back up here and I had about an hour to work. And I built pretty much this tower as to where it is right now. And then once I finished that, I was going to go on to the throne, but I started realizing something. I'm tired, and that's not good for me. See, I'm red-green deficient already. I have color problems. And then as I start to get tired, I'm starting to look at the grays and the greens and the golds, and I don't want to put something where it doesn't belong. So I kind of immediately told myself, stop, you're done. Because I don't want to mess up and then be in a situation where I got to take everything apart tomorrow and start from there. I'm making good progress and I'm in no hurry. My end goal is to have a Lego-esque Mega Construx Castle Grayskull. I mean, that's the goal here. And I did make decent progress today. I have no idea how long this is going to take. I just don't know. But like I said, I am in no rush. My main goal here is just to do it right. So far, it's getting done right, and it's really cool. I can't wait to see this thing as it takes shape, because the cool thing about making these is that as you make them, they slowly take shape. And after a while, you realize, oh, I'm building the foundation of the floor. Oh, I just made the nose. These are the teeth. Oh, I'm working on the jaw bridge. Oh, these are all the teeth on the jaw when it opens. Oh my God, now I'm working on this part. These are going to be the eyes. I'm going to work on something that goes down over the top of them. And then as I was making it, and I got to the part where I was building the inside, and I was like, oh, now these are going to be the flags, because the inside is going to be every bit as awesome as the outside. And that's something that I'm really looking forward to. This Lego set, this Mega Construx set is unbelievable. It's unbelievable because when I'm done, it'll have all the features of the Grayskull classics. And that's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Sometimes you got to take a step back and you got to appreciate the time. I live in a time when not only am I able to obtain the Castle Grayskull of the original, and I bought an Origins Castle Grayskull, but now I'm going to make my own brick by brick Castle Grayskull. I don't know about you, and maybe it's the Gunpla builder in me, but because I'm making it, this Castle Grayskull will probably be the most important one that I have, because there's something about building it yourself, making it, that really changes that aspect. And it's hard to describe if you're not into this kind of stuff. But when you make a Gunpla, there's a feeling that goes into it, learning every little intricate, small little detail, building it, looking at the vents and everything as you put them on, and noticing small details you never noticed in the anime, but now you're taking pride in the realization and learning so much because you're literally building it small piece by small piece. And the same thing goes with Castle Grayskull. I'm noticing every tiny little detail because I'm building them. It's fantastic. This is still a really cool project, and I really cannot wait to see just the results as I go. This is just so cool. It is. It's so cool. Okay. day 3 working on this, and I finished the central tower. I think that it's done. It'll probably ask me to add 1 or 2 more things, but I think the main central tower is done, and it looks pretty cool. Check this out. So here it is. This is awesome. This is awesome. And yes, if you have the power sword, let me grab it real quick. Okay, if you have the power sword, you put it in here, right? And this little feature is actually in here. It opens the drawbridge. So you push it, and it pushes this little tab, and it kind of opens the door enough, and then you can let it down. It's not perfect, but it does open the drawbridge. It's this little thing right here. It pushes back. And I'm thinking that maybe this should have been turned a little more, and I'll work on it. I'll probably turn this around in here and see if that works as a better push to really open it, because see what I mean? It doesn't push back enough. So I think that even though the directions told me to point it that way, I don't think that's right. Tiny power sword. So anyways, check out this other part right here. So here's the inside. You got this main little hall area when that opens and everything. And then up here is the throne. So you see the throne and everything, and it does actually move, and there's this line that comes out right here, which makes me think that that's going to be how you open the trap door or whatever. It probably pushes something over, and then it unlocks the trap door, and people fall down into the dungeon area, which I found out I think that's what this window thing down here is going to be a part of. The flags in the back, like I pointed those out, those are really cool. And then up here, this was awesome. I made this door and built this area right here on top. That is awesome. This is so cool. Every little part of it that I build is just another cool part. So far, this is exactly what I was hoping for. Just to slowly build the castle, literally brick by brick, experience it, see it, know the details, really get invested in what I'm building piece by piece. Like I said, especially right now, this is definitely a big project. I'm on the second box, and I'm about to open bags 16 and 17. So this has been a 3-day project so far, and I'm not even halfway done. I have to finish all the contents of box 2 before I can even consider myself halfway done. So this is a huge project, but you know what? I'm not complaining about that. I really like the fact that I can sit down up here for an hour or two every now and then and just kind of knock this out, and this is going to be so cool when it's done. I'm going to have to... The real kicker is when it's done, I got to put it somewhere. So I think it might be beyond the shadow of a doubt. I may have no choice now but to work on the shelf back there and take all the video game stuff off and take it down into the garage where I'm currently building the retro gaming area. And I think that stuff will look fine there and everything. And to be fair, some of it actually does need to be sold and relocated, because like I have like a Link statue, which is really cool, but it's like a Skyward Sword statue. It doesn't really mean anything to me, so like you get the idea. Little things like that that really don't mean anything to me, that don't speak directly to my personal fandom anymore, don't belong here. That's been what this whole project has been about, is discovering and reevaluating my fandom at its absolute finer points, how I feel about something, why I feel that way, what's important, and what needs to go. And as I minimalize different parts of the collection, little things like that Zelda statue, that Link statue, it doesn't belong here. It's not... If it was a different Link, then yeah, but I really held on to it just for the fact that it is Link, but not one that I personally care about, so why is it here? Regardless, 3rd day update, this is going pretty cool. So, day 4, working on Castle Grayskull, Mega Construx Castle Grayskull, and I'm going to tell you something right now. This was good. This one was a good night. And I'm not actually done, but I figure I'll go ahead and run the update regardless, because, like, I just finished the full second box. Remember, there are 4 boxes inside of the case, and you got to kind of go through each box one at a time and kind of unpack them and make it. Holy crap. It is way better than I anticipated. So I've made the entire mid structure and I made the entire second tower. And when I finished the second tower, putting these 2 pieces together and watching Grayskull take shape it's fantastic. It is so good. You got to see it. Check this out. There it is. Look at that. Look at this. That's the entire mid structure that you build first. And the second part, you build this. And there was some really creative block work in this that created this to make it rounded and everything like that, because they could have very easily just made this a couple of blocks that you were like click, 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 and they were just like automatically rounded or whatever, but it didn't work like that. And it's fantastic, because there was so much give and interesting structure as we went up this, and it's all like, it just looks different, right? Every single part of it looks different, which is really, really cool. And like the window, when you created the window, that was fantastic. Let me get a little Tila and show you the scale here of what we're looking at. It is very much to scale. Like, it is really impressive. It's really cool. The whole thing is so big. And like, of course, the jaw bridge opens up. And then, so I'm going to turn it around now because we're going to look at the inside. And check that out. That is so fantastic. The flag up there. This is the first part of the guard tower. A set of stairs right here. This is pretty cool. I think I already showed this off, but look, that's cool. You got this gem in here, this orb that's probably like supposed to be, I don't know if it's supposed to be the star seed or whatever. If you know what it is, let me know. And then there's the little machine thing, and this is the suit of the space suit type thing, which is in here, which is pretty cool. But like, it could have been a solid piece, but I'm not going to complain, because this is also kind of a kickback to the fact that this was just a piece of cardboard in the original castle, and I kind of dig the retro throwback to that idea. And there's the throne and the flags behind it looking so fantastic. And down here we're starting to get some area right here, and like this little skull thing is pretty cool. And so let's go ahead and do it real quick. Let's take Evelyn, because she's evil, right? So hold on, let me get Evelyn and we're going to play with the trapdoor. So unsuspecting Evelyn is sitting here, and she has control of the tower, and she thinks she's got it made. She's going to work on this computer over here, but then some prick is like, nope. Yes, it's so cool. It's so good. And look at this. So this was you actually build the entire prison area. So this pulls open. Oh, it's fairly tight, but that's good. You want it to be, because it is actually sealed, and you actually have to pull it open. And there she is. And this is pretty cool too. Let me get her out of here. You could see like you build the little the grate thing. The castle grate where all the monsters and everything used to climb out of, and there's like a set of like evil pink nasty arm things that you could put there. This is so good, and the scale is just so good. Like, look how big the castle is for these characters, because the characters are small, and then the castle can be so much bigger than the scale we get with the normal stuff. This is going to be one of the most fantastic things I've ever built. I can see it. I can see it right now before we're not done yet. In fact, I'm just now halfway. That's the point I would be at right now, is halfway, because I just finished every part in the second box. And it's blowing me away. It's blowing me away. This is one of the coolest builds I have ever done on anything like this. And I can't wait to add this second piece structure right here, which I'm guessing I'm about to work on next. This is such an awesome project. It's such an awesome project. Everything about it has been fantastic. It's taking a good portion of time, but I'm appreciating every single block I lay down, every step I take towards building this thing. And I'm looking forward to making the next tower, to finishing this thing off, because man, I can't wait to see this thing completed and then really dig in to where I think the good parts and everything are for this, the parts that just stand out, because this is fantastic. So that's the 4th day build update. All right, I finished the entire first half of the castle. Castle Grayskull Mega Construx is now 50% done. I know I'm at the halfway point because I've built the entire front, and I had to move down to the table in my kitchen area because this can no longer be built on the space that I have in front of my computer on my desk. It's getting big. Look at that. There it is. See the cannon here. We got the crown up here, the flag, and yes, it does turn around and it becomes the other flag if you want it to. The window, we got the drawbridge, the face, the teeth, the ledge, all of that is there. Let's turn it around and I'll show you the other part. And the inside, we've already talked about that, stuff like that. But the part that I just built and added on is right here. So you have the old training dummy that actually spins around and everything like that. There's a ledge out here at the top area because there's a secret door that opens up, and then you could get into Castle Grayskull and whatnot, a secret door up here on the ledge, or a way that they could also like open it up and come out here if they had to shoot down bow and arrows and everything. And then, of course, you've got the cannon right here. Awesome. So good. This that's the entire first half of Grayskull completed. Let's push that up. Oh no, hold on. Push this up. Push this up. Push this over. There we go. There, had to reset that. See, there's all that stuff set up. So the trapdoor now works and everything. The flags are visible. Yeah. Halfway done. It's been 5 days. I actually probably would have been further, but there was a lot of stuff that I had to do today, and I didn't get home until pretty late, so I didn't really start working on it until just now, as opposed to where I left off last night. But I am on step 311, and I have done half of the 3rd box of material, so like there's still a ridiculous amount of stuff left, but I'm making progress. Slowly but surely, I'm making progress. I'm 50% done. It's been 5 days. Now I'm going to start working on the second half of the build. Okay, into my build night. I'm getting tired. I worked on it here and there throughout the day whenever I found time, but the back of the castle is it seems to be broken into 2 parts, is my guess. And because the front of the castle was broken into 3. You made the middle tower, which was the centerpiece with the face and everything. Then you made 2 towers. And the back seems to be more of a castle structure. And I think I'm leaving off exactly where I build the computer with the giant screen, with the screen with all the planets and everything. Here, look. So that's it right there. And I know that it's going to have me do things like put those pieces on to kind of frame them out so they'll be smooth for the window seal and everything. as you turn it around right here, I think that's where you're going to build the computer screen and everything. You're going to build something like back in there and put it back in there. That's my best guess as to this point right here. And this, I don't know if that's going to be like a door, like a secret door in the back when I finish it off or what. But yeah, this little part right here is just high enough that it can fit, or low enough that it can fit under this. So like if I move him out of the way, I'm pretty sure that what I'm doing is this right here, which means that that still has to go up a decent bit more, and then there'll be an entire second little area, like a tower area right here, and then that should close off the castle and finish it. But this is the directional part that I'm on right now, is this stuff. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what all this is, because see, that's like the computer and everything like that. And then my guess is you're going to come over here and yeah, see, there's the screen. So I'm right. That's exactly what I'm finishing right now. So I'm leaving off on 369. This has been a heck of a build project. It looks like there's only so much of the book left, and I've only got one box left. This is I'm finishing off what's left that was in the bags of the third box. There's only 4 boxes in the set, so almost done. I think that if I do it right, I'll finish Grayskull tomorrow, if I put the time in. 126 pages is how far I am in the instruction book. I'll be honest, it's a little bit tiring, and maybe it's because of the chair I sit in or something, because even down here, like you're looking down and you're doing this and you're putting things together and you look up and you put it, and it starts to hurt your neck and everything. I don't know, because maybe I'm old. I don't know. Maybe this would have been a lot easier when I was a kid for sure. But, like, I got to stop every now and then and be like, give me a second, because it's just the way that it is. But this has been a really cool build, and it's just about done. Hopefully I can finish this tomorrow, and we can see what the whole thing looks like. All right, so the entire first half of the backside is done, and I was right. I did build that computer exactly how I said, and then after building the computer, of course, went off to make the top and everything like that. And there's like little window, it got a little more intricate than I was expecting, because I figured at the point there where this was, it wasn't going to change. I don't know how to explain what I was thinking of, but I didn't expect it to get as intricate as it did on the back, but it did. So here's the computer. So that's in there, and you make that. And I don't know 100% what this is about, but there's like an entire space back here, and maybe that's for like storing figures and whatnot when you close everything up. I don't know exactly what that's about, or if that's just whatever it is. I don't know. There's a little door down here, which is like, you could just push it in. It's like an area where you could break into the castle or whatever, because there's no mechanism. There's nothing like that pushes it or moves it. It's just in there. It just is what it is, and it's noticeable. And it is kind of cool though that it's even there at all, because it just adds more to the play factor than existed on the original. So this window thing here, this was kind of tough. It was one of the more difficult processes of the entire build, was to put this together. And I like how, if you're looking at it, nothing is necessarily even or easy. So like, you see how all this is kind of broken and intricate, but it's complicated, but it's really messy. And I like that, because it's supposed to be an old, decrepit, messed up castle. And so then like the side here and everything, the way that does the cobblestone and different things, like they just kind of put it together as quick as they could, as good as they could. And there's what I was talking about. So you could just push in on that and it falls right in. And so I think that's supposed to be like where you can break into the castle, like a secret area, like a weak area in the castle or something. I don't know, because there's no mechanism. And on everything else where I've built something like this, there's been a mechanism. So case in point, up here, there's a door that lets you into Grayskull, and that's that. And there's the gel cell door, and there's the jaw bridge, and things of that nature. And they all open. They all have mechanisms that you can activate that let you into the castle, or things like the trapdoor and whatnot. But when I built this, and you stick it in there, and they could have made this solid, but they didn't. You just tap in on it, and it'll fall right over. So I think it's supposed to be a play feature, which is pretty cool. But going up here and seeing all this, and then, of course, they have the top layer right here, which I don't know. I didn't build anything in here, so it's just there. I don't know if it's just like a play area where characters would be able to meet up and discuss battle strategy or whatnot in a more open room as opposed to down here in the computers and whatnot. But yeah, I'm already starting this. I don't know exactly what this part is going to be, but it's started. And since I'm about to take a break, I'm hoping to finish this tonight, but I'm about to take a break, so I figured I would run an update just so I had the clips before, rather I would move on and end up being like, oh, I'm done, and here's the entire thing, and it's completely done, because I said that I was going to kind of chronicle this as I did it. And as far as I could tell, there's no more main pieces, and I am on like 153 of 176, and there's only 3 bags of parts left in the 4th box, and there's no more major tiles. So as far as I can tell, this is going to end up basically like that, and that's going to cover the entire back portion of the castle. And then that's where all these little pegs here that I've been building into the structure are going to come up, because I'm guessing that they plug into all these little pegs that I've been building into the structure in the other half. That way it opens and closes, and it's a full thing that you can do. So I'm going to take a break, and that's as far as we've gotten so far. I don't know when the next update of this I'm going to check in, but we're getting real close to finishing this. I have done it. It is done. All that is left is to put it together. And it is crazy. There are parts of it that I absolutely love, parts of it that were a real pain, and I will go into much more detail into that stuff when we look it over on the YouTube. At that point, I'm going to use a different camera and everything. I'm going to go over every little part that I think really needs to be pointed out. But it's done. Let's put the last pieces on this thing and finish it. Go. Those are pretty solid connections right there. Let's put this here. That seals that. Puts it all in place. Bring the elevator to the bottom. Bring this to the bottom here. Place it on there. And then we got to turn around and put the connector in the other spot. And the last piece, that is the last brick right there. That's both halves are complete. There it is. This was a huge project, and I'm very curious how big of a project it's going to be to do the other one. In all honesty, the Snake Mountain, when I get it, to be fair. I'm not rushing right out immediately. Oh, man. Those are cool. Check this out. That is really cool that these 2 skulls are up here. Oh, we better fix that. There we go. Sorry. Oh, man. The computer in there and everything. This is so crazy. I'll say that I feel like the elevator could have been done better, but it works for what it is. It just feels so wobbly to me, and I tried a couple of times to see if maybe I didn't secure it well enough or something, but I mean, that's See, like right there, that it loosens is what I'm trying to tell you. It's not the most perfect. The elevator is one of the weaker parts of it, but as you can tell, it works and it stays wherever you want to put it. So you want to go up this level, whoop, there. It won't fall down, there it is, whoop. It won't fall down, there it is. It goes all the way to the top. It's got a stopper, so you won't kick it off, and it goes all the way down to the bottom, and it's got a stopper, so it won't like hit the floor. It works for what it is. And there it is. It's done. Let's put the two pieces together and be done with this. Okay, gotta click there. Click here. This is almost impossible to do one-handed, so let's put you like this, because I gotta get this right. I can't mess this up. Push that back down, make sure everything's in place properly. That goes right like this. So, connect, connect, connect. Come on, connect the bottom. Oh. There's that one part right there that's not playing nice with me. Oh. Got it. That part was tough. Not gonna lie, it was tough to do what I just did, but these have to line up absolutely perfectly. These little dots here, you make them throughout the whole thing, but you're not actually connecting it until the very end. And this top here, this is the flimsiest piece in the entire setup. Of every single part that I think I put on the castle, this is the one that tends to want to come off the most. And like you see, even now it wants to, it's just, that one is the toughest part to keep on there. But otherwise, the whole thing is incredibly solid. That was tough to build, but when it went on solid, and everything else that I can think of pretty much is there to stay. But that part is tough. I might play around with it and see if I can't find a way to really stick it on there, even if I have to permanently stick the two together. But I don't know yet. I'll kind of look it over and see what my options are, because as far as I can tell, like, I mean, it's right there, and that's fine. That's two of them that are supposed to stick together right there. So you push it down there, and then there's a little area over here, which that's supposed to go down, and that's supposed to lock into place right there. And see, if you push that part down, it wants to pull the other part up, and then there's a part. I'll play with it for a while. It's the toughest part on the entirety of the build. But all in all, it's done. I made it. It's done. This was a heck of a project. If I had to tell you, I'd say I only get about an hour, and maybe an hour and 20 minutes, something like that, per sit down to really do this. And I think I sat down about 6 or 7 times. I would estimate more than likely this is about an 8 to 9 hour build. At least it was for me. It is a big project. It's like 3,500 pieces or something like that. It can be overwhelming. Take your time, but it's very worth it, and it's very cool. Just one brick at a time, put it together. Don't rush yourself. It's worth it. It's really cool. And now I'm going to set the characters on it, set it up somewhere, and I got a YouTube video to do that's going to go over all of its features and everything. But for right now, that was it. We're done. I finished it. Awesome. I have spoken. Take what you will from it.